Hello and welcome to the David Kurten Show here on today's News Talk TNT. Now, this week, Parliament in the UK is back in session, as we said yesterday, after a nice 3-week Easter holiday or recess, as they call it. And we see already a lot of nonsense going through and using up parliamentary time. Yesterday, everyone was talking about the safety of Rwanda bill. Today, another bill is being discussed in Parliament, which is the tobacco and vapes bill. And the main point of this bill, which, if it gets through Parliament, will become an act and a law, is that they want to introduce a total ban on purchasing tobacco products for anyone born after the 1st of January 2009. So they're going to create a two-tier society in terms of what you can purchase. So if you're born before then, you can purchase cigarettes and tobacco and vapes and cigars. If you're born after then, you can't. Now, at the moment, that isn't actually going to have any effect at all because people born on the 1st of January 2009 and after will be 15 years old and less. So it's not going to affect anyone now because children under the age of 16 aren't allowed to buy tobacco products anyway. But a number of people, commentators, even MPs have said this is a completely ridiculous idea to put into law. And I see their point. I mean, I am no fan of cigarettes or cigars or tobacco products. I don't smoke myself. I wouldn't recommend that anyone start smoking because it does have an effect on your health. But if you want to do that, it's up to you, as long as you're not harming anybody else and wafting cigarette smoke in their direction. But what happens in 10 years' time or 20 years' time when the threshold will be not between people who are 15 years old and younger and those over, but it will be something like 30 or 35 or 40 years old? I really don't think that they've thought this through because say you get to the year, okay, 2040, and anyone who's under 31 will not be allowed to buy cigarettes, and anyone who's over 31 will be allowed to. How is that going to be enforced? Will the shops require ID from 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds in the future to see whether they're allowed to purchase tobacco products or not? At the moment, there's no issue, as I say, but in the future, it's going to be completely ridiculous. I don't think that shops will want to do that. It will be essentially unenforceable. What happens in 20 years' time if a 35-year-old goes into a shop and purchases some cigarettes? Are the police going to come round and arrest them and fine them and put them in prison for trying to buy cigarettes when someone who's 36 is allowed to do that? The whole idea is completely and utterly ridiculous. In fact, I wonder if that can only be enforced by far more sinister means. And of course, we know that Rishi Sunak and other people in the government who are connected to the World Economic Forum want to implement digital identity, central bank digital currencies, get everything, every purchase that you make subject to a digital surveillance and even a digital slavery system. So if you had a system of digital identity in place and you could only purchase something with your central bank digital currency wallet, which is connected to a Chinese Communist Party style social credit system, then you will get your smartphone or your chip in your hand, as they probably will have then, stick it on the till, and the computer says, no, you were born in 2009 or afterwards, therefore you're not allowed to purchase some cigarettes. And if you were born in 2008, then that's fine. You can do it. The effects are chilling. And I think that this isn't going to stop with cigarettes and tobacco products. They will introduce similar things for oil, petrol, diesel, sugar products, whatever. Some meat products, indeed. The government and the World Economic Forum and the powers that be seem to be very, very against people continuing to eat healthy meat as they want to try and introduce lab-grown frankenfoods and insects into the food chain, which will be very, very detrimental to human health. This all goes along with a similar agenda in order to control people's purchases. It's completely balmy and ridiculous. Even some people that I really disrespect, such as Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, have said that this is a balmy scheme and the government should not be trying to ban things. Certainly under a certain age that will weed its way through so that you will be banned from purchasing certain things when you're an adult. This is a balmy idea. I really think that parliamentary time should be used for things that are far more useful, such as stopping the boats coming across the English Channel, which they don't seem to do, or getting rid of the nonsense of climate alarmism by repealing the Climate Change 2008 Act, which we would do in the Heritage Party, but it seems that the Uniparty, fake Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem and Green don't want to do this. Now, this bill is likely to get passed in the House of Commons because it has the support of Labour and the Lib Dems and the fake conservative government. Although they've said that backbench Tory MPs can have a free vote on this, there's not going to be enough of them to oppose this. It seems that the powers that be are going to put this through. The only way it might get stopped is if there is an early election, because if there is an early election and Parliament is dissolved, all unfinished business for the parliamentary year is voided, and they would have to introduce the bill again after the next King's speech in the next parliamentary session. So we'll see. Maybe this is just empty virtue signalling because they know that that's not going to get through with parliamentary time. But if it does, it's a completely ridiculous use of parliamentary time as it is. This is today's News Talk, TNT.